So you haven't got anything particularly. Is there any schedule you like us to follow?
No, just go.
No schedule whatsoever. This is good. It's very good. Anything. You go with the flow. We'll go with the flow. It's like we go with the River Ganga, we go with the flow. So let's see which way we go. Many of you have got this book, I would imagine, especially those who are familiar with the Krishna consciousness movement. For sometimes it's called the Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita. Amrita. We were yesterday in Amrita Lane.
Yeah.
That was the name of the road of Luv and Priyank last night. This road, I don't know what the name is, but it's not. Shad Bolt. Doesn't sound quite so transcendental, but you've made it transcendental by being here. So last night the road where they lived was called Amrita Lane. So this is the Nectar Upadesh Shamrita. Upadesh means instructions. So nectarian instructions. And this little book, very small that it may be. How many of you have got this book? I guess everyone else doesn't have it. Anyway, you've got many books, and I'm sure you have much reading to do. This is a small, almost like a condensed version. And Prahlad Nanda Maharaj comes here sometimes to Christchurch. And I don't know if he still is, he used to give a regular seminar from called Shraddha, which means faith, to Prema, which means the perfection of life, the perfection of spiritual process, love of God. My goodness. Oh, that's some off the microphone. Okay. Shraddha to Prema, little faith. Spiritual, this is a little high pitched. I don't like it. Excuse me? See if you can help. Everything we do in life is founded on some degree, at least voluntarily, on some degree of faith. Whether it's eating, even sleeping. Isn't it? I mean, you go to sleep at night. In one sense, it's risky, isn't it? You don't have much control over what happens. You don't know if you're going to wake up or what's going to happen in between, isn't it? You take medicine, you don't know. What is that? Even food. You enthusiastically eat food, you don't really know, but you have faith. Huh? We get in a car and we have some faith, or we get in a plane. Sometimes it's a little risky, but you have some degree of faith, otherwise you won't get in there unless you're forced. But voluntary pursuits are based on faith. Well, to speak, materially speaking, you can say it's based on experience, but it's not absolute. It may be based upon other people's opinions. You take that as an authoritative source, but it may not be absolute. And we know for sure, in this lifetime, we put a lot of faith in many things in this life, but they end up failures. Life itself, at least if we put our faith in this material body which we are presently residing in, they have a saying, if you go to prison, there's a prison near here. Rolleston has a prison. Correct? It's not a high one, but it's a prison nonetheless. Wollaston Prison, I've seen it. I've not been inside yet, but I've seen the signs and I've heard about it. So if you go into prison, they say, you are serving time. Have you heard that saying? I'm serving time. It's a sort of that's a saying for prisoners when they're in prison. Or you could say, he is serving or she is serving time. It's a male prison, I'm told. Come along in if you wish. You have a lot of guests at the door there. Most welcome. Serving time. Well, if we look at it on a broader perspective, every living entity in the universe is serving time. It's a kind of funny statement, isn't it? Serving time. But that's the saying that they have. So we spent, basically speaking, we spend our whole life serving time. Everything's measured by time, isn't it? We're running against time, or we're trying to fit things in, or whatever it is, measuring time. And we're all serving time. Now, if you spend your whole life serving somebody, you expect to get some reward, isn't it? If you serve somebody, you expect to get something back, isn't it? Most of you, at least, presumably, at least the men, I presume, are working. Now, if you work, you serve your company or boss or whatever, you expect to get something, right? Isn't it? You work hard and say, oh, that's really good. I'm going to reward you by giving you nothing. I'm going to reward you by taking away your car. You won't be very encouraged. Naturally, you want some pay or something or another, some money. But we spend our whole life serving time, and what do we get? What's the result? Some of you youngsters may not quite feel like that, but others who are a little more mature in life, what do you get after a lifetime of serving time? You die. Time kills us, isn't it? Basically. Pretty stupid, isn't it? Not very intelligent. But people put their entire energy into this, don't they? Of course, we're fighting against time. But can anyone overcome time? Can we overcome it? Time and tide wait for no man. Can anyone overcome time? We try, don't we? In one sense. You know, maybe people are so dull they don't even try, they're just dull. But some people do, those who are a little bit more, say, I know intelligence not quite the word, a little bit more kind of awake. They try to overcome time, try to make life on without being destroyed, so to speak. But they have a big misconception. One can overcome time. One can become free and deathless. Deathless. Amara. Become free of death. I don't know if that's what you would like or not, but in one sense we do. And nobody really likes to die, do they? Generally speaking, I mean, if you're suffering so much, you might. But generally not. Even you see a little tiny insect, isn't it struggling to survive? Maybe you accidentally stood on it or something, but it's not dead. It's struggling to survive. Birds, fishes, everyone struggles. Nobody likes to die. It's an unnatural condition. Because the living entity within that body is by nature eternal. But because we do not know our eternal nature, we've forgotten or we're covered over. We're identifying with the present body, and that present body is destined to die. You can't stop it. It's the nature of this world. And there's very little education beyond that. We're all looking for Amrita, but we put our faith in a Atmasanyasva satsapis. Fallible soldiers. They cannot really protect us. Can anyone protect us at the time of death? Can the army protect us? No, he's a very intelligent young man. Even the doctors, they try their best, but there's a point they can't do anything. I was just with a devotee on leaving their body, more or less, online with them at least. And the doctor said the evening before, there's nothing more we can do. He's likely to leave his body tonight. They told his wife like that. We tried everything, it's not working, and now there's nothing we can do, so be prepared. They can only do so much. Sounds a bit morbid, but this is reality, which we all have to face one day. Whoever we are, however young or whatever we may be, you may be a billionaire or some beggar on the street. It doesn't make any difference. Same thing happens, doesn't it? You may grow old, you may not. You may get diseased, to some degree everyone does. But everyone dies, or at least the body dies. So people, they put their faith into this. It's like if you, any of you are gamblers? Any of you gamble on the horses? Raghavir? No. Did you at one time? Don't be shy. You never did, huh?
Before I became a devotee, I did just maybe twice or something.
Hey, gambling on horses, it can be very addictive, I'm told. Gambling is the most addictive of all the vices. It's remarkable. It's hard to know that when you're not into it, so to speak. But I'm told that it's absolutely addictive once you're into it. So maybe none of you have been overt gamblers. But if you know, say you're gambling on the horses, they do that here, I'm sure. Christchurch has a horse racing place. And people spend a lot of money. Or they go to the casino. They have a casino here also, I guess. I know in some places, if you've been to Melbourne, and that may not be the big, I don't know, maybe many bigger ones, but the casino in the center of the city occupies about 4 blocks of the city center. They have a heliport on top and a 5-star hotel where they fly in directly from the airport straight to there. They don't even go anywhere. And then they stay there and they just gamble and fly back to Japan or to wherever they're from, Taiwan or wherever they've come from, spending millions of dollars. It's a great joy. I lost $1 million in the casino. It's almost like a success, you know. It's crazy, huh? They have an average of 1 suicide a day in Melbourne casino. Almost 1 a day.
At the casino.
Well, directly related to the casino. People who lose their money at the casino, about 280. Well, I don't know, not updated, but last time I was, one of our devotees was an accountant in the casino. He was telling me all the details, you know. They have about 100 bars, drinking bars there, in the casino, different types. And people spend all their money there. I mean, there's some places the beginning stake is $100,000. That's the first bet. And people put their faith in this. It's madness, isn't it? But let's say you're a horse racing fanatic and you're a gambler, and you put your money in, but the horse has 1 leg. I don't know how long horses live. How long do they live? 20 years, 25?
More than 20, I think.
Say it's 30 years at most. The horse is 29 years old. It's got 3 broken legs. It can hardly breathe. It's almost blind. Are you going to put your money on it? I mean, there's a chance. I mean, if you win, you're going to make a lot of money. It's 10 million to 1 against. You're going to make a lot of money. But the chances of winning are very slim, isn't it? I mean, if all the other horses collapse or die or something, you might have a slight chance. but unlikely that that horse will make it to the end either. You won't do that. You'll be mad. Everyone will go crazy. But that's more or less what we're doing. We're putting our money on this dead loss. They say as cert is death. Huh? I don't know if you say that. Here in England there's a saying, as certain as death. The only thing certain in life is death. Nothing else is certain. This is a very blissful subject matter we're dealing. Amrita. We started with Amrita. So, poor old Harry Kirtan. She's not looking very inspired over there. No? Are you thinking deeply? A little bit deeply. But this is the fate, basically, of everyone. Man, woman, child, animal, bird, beast. Even the budgerigars out there will not last forever. You have budgies in the garden? Where's our host? Host has disappeared. Here it is. Hostess. Host and hostess. Do you have budgerigars in your garden?
Yes.
Budgies. Do they go outside? Do they fly outside?
No, they can't survive outside.
Pardon?
They cannot survive outside.
They can. Budgies, well, I'm not suggesting you do this, by the way, but quite often budgies go out, they come back again. We had a budgie like that. Sometimes they come back, they have like a homing system, but they're not naturally, this is not their natural habitat. And there are many predators, many, but there are some, especially the pussycats and a few other predators. They're not familiar with this particularly. But we put all our faith in this material life. We invest all our energy. How many years of education? You start when you're 3 or something with some kind of preschool or something. And you go right through to your 23, 24 sometimes. 20 years of your life in education, basically, isn't it? Anything from 15 to 20 years of study. Just based upon this to invest in this material life. Then the next perhaps 40 years in working, isn't it? 20-something till 60-something. At least 40 years working. What for? To make money. What for? What for? To eat, to sleep, to mate, to defend, to try to enjoy this world. Huh? So that's already 65, 70 years gone, isn't it? More or less. If you have a family, you're pretty busy with the kids and everything else that goes along with it. And then you retire. Maybe you're 65 to 70. I don't know what the retirement age is in this country. Some countries it's more or less. But 65, so by that age, many people they're maybe looking forward to retiring. And maybe you're not too bad off. But in many cases, what can you do at that age? You're 70 years of age now. Some of you are 70. I don't know if anyone here is 70 years of age at the moment. I think some are. Jimanacharya is 70 plus. Anyone else 70 plus? 70 plus. 1 or 2, 3. Well, what can you do? Pushpa, you're not 70 plus yet?
69 and a half.
69 and a half. You've got half a year more to look forward to there. Another half a year of fun. 70 plus. You know, not everyone's the same. We all got our different bags, our different machines. But generally after 70, it's not quite the same. You can't like dive off the top of a cliff or whatever you were doing when you were a young man very easily. You can die off the top of a cliff, but not dive. Or you can, try to play some sport or something and you end up in hospital. Not so easy. You try to eat like you did when you were an 18-year-old kid, It's not so easy, is it? There are exceptions to every situation, but generally not. But we put all our faith, and the body gradually dwindles. It dwindles. Wears down. Many times, all this money, you can't enjoy it at that stage, to some extent, but not what you'd like to. And eventually it's all gone. Everything's taken away. We come, we put our faith, hoping we're going to get some Amrita out of the material world, some nectar. You get a tiny drop. But when you're in a desert, what's the use of a tiny drop? Is that going to satisfy your thirst? No, it's a very intelligent young man here. You're in a desert. What's the desert? Gibson Desert in Australia? I think there's one Gibson Desert over there. You're in the middle of the desert, and one drop of water, what's that use? Almost better not to have a drop at all. It's kind of so frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, I can give you some water. Here you go, one drop. I'll give you another one, don't worry. 6 years later. We don't realize the fallacy of this is sometimes, I think Srila Prabhupada, as Guru Maharaj, tells the story of a man, and he's being chased by a tiger or something, and he manages to climb up, get up a tree, and the tiger can't get up there. So he sat on a branch, he stood out there on the limb of a branch, sat there. And then he looks down, there's all these deadly snakes underneath. So if he falls off, he's going to go straight to the snakes. And if he jumps, the tiger's there to get him. Then he hears, I don't know how it goes, tick, tick, tick. He looks at the end of the branch, he sees a woodpecker pecking away at the branch. Bit of a precarious situation, isn't it? Any time the branch may fall off. And it's either the snakes or the tiger. You can choose which way you go, I guess. And but then suddenly something goes pop on his forehead. It wasn't a bird passing dip, on his forehead. No, it wasn't. It dripped down. Look, whoa, that was nice. He looks up. Oh, there's a beehive right above him. And every 10 minutes or so, a drop of honey drips down. This is so nice. He completely forgets about the snakes, the tiger, and the woodpecker. Completely absorbed in the drops of honey coming down. Isn't it nice? People are like that. They're so absorbed in that little tiny, tiny drop of pleasure. Couple of shuk, flickering happiness which we may get in this world. And we forget about the reality of life. What to do? So that we call that Amrita, but Amrita also means eternal. It doesn't just mean nectar, it means never ending, everlasting. We would like that, wouldn't we? How many gulabs do you like to eat? Parth? 2. Only 2? Wouldn't you like to eat more? What do you like to eat? Oh, that's a very good credit to your mother, isn't it? There she is. Cakes. Shamakumar is famous worldwide for cakes. Yes, he's famous. You like cakes? Yeah. So any cake she makes you like, huh? Yeah. Good. Is it a birthday today as well? Yesterday? Or was it a birthday? No, it's more or less a birthday. Anyone's birthday? Anyone's birthday today? Pardon? Almost? Is it your birthday?
Celebrating her birthday today. It was last week, but it's being celebrated.
Ah, okay. It was last year. It was celebrating.
Week.
Oh, last week. I celebrate my birthday. It's in 11 and a half months' time. Good. So you have a nice cake, but you can only eat so much, right? How much cake can you eat? 2 big, depends how big they are, doesn't it? But 2 slices of cake, and then you can't like, it's like sickly or something. You like to eat more, but it's limited. Not only by time, but by our capacity to actually digest it. Everything's like that, whether it's sex life, any kind of activity, there's a limit. You can only go so far, and you can't really go much more without feeling sick or bored or something or another. Tired out. So in the material world, it's neither amrita in terms of its depth of pleasure, nor in its time, the length of time we can relish it. But we're looking for that, because the living entity is by nature not only eternal, but the living entity is eternally pleasure-seeking. As we heard this morning, pleasure-seeking. We always want more and more pleasure. There's no limit, is there, to how much pleasure we want, because It's the nature of the soul. And another thing is, in this material world, is we're searching for that. We're searching for eternity. We're searching for everlasting and ever-increasing pleasure. And we're searching for knowledge. Chit, Sat, Chit, Anand. So we're looking for knowledge. We don't like ignorance. Does anyone like to be in ignorance? Why do you study for 20 years? Because you're trying to get some knowledge, I guess. Maybe motivated, but still, nonetheless, it's knowledge. There has to be a motive for everything we do. So, ignorance is a big topic, but in many ways you could summarize it as being the cause of fear, isn't it? When you don't know something, you may see other consequences of ignorance are there, but fear is a very powerful consequence. Many of you have experienced that, isn't it? When you know, it's a little bit better than when you don't know. Even if it's a bad thing, you tend to get all kind of like panicky and speculating when you don't know. And fear is like it's almost automatic consequence of ignorance. Many different types of ignorance are there. But fear of the dark, fear of being lost, fear of losing things, fear of illness. You know, you've got some problem and you're afraid and you speculate as this and that and you get really paranoid. You go to the doctor or something, and of course you may still be afraid if he says what you don't want to hear. And of course death, everyone's afraid of death, afraid of punishments and so on. Are these gentlemen, they're your neighbors? There's some gentlemen from the Sikh community outside. Neighbors? Friends? In the garden there. Different countries are afraid of others. People are afraid of war. They're afraid of so many things. We don't know what's going to happen. So these three factors, we want knowledge, we want happiness, we want eternity. But they're unavailable in this material world. Only a reflection, a material reflection of them is available here. So if we really want these, in the human form of life, we can actually achieve that. Eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So this little book, Upadeshamrita, it doesn't say it, but that's what it's called. It means the nectar of instruction. That which brings actual happiness, eternity, and knowledge. So we're going to, it's in a sense, in a nutshell, it's the entirety, as we mentioned earlier. Prahlad Maharaj gives a talk quite often. From Shraddha, faith, to Prema. Prema means love, pure love, which is the natural characteristic, not aside from, but including these other three aspirations or constitutional nature. But the purpose behind it all is love. There was a song, I think by the Beatles, was it? All you need is love, love is all you need. I can't sing very well, that Beatles song. But yes, it is in reality. But again, due to ignorance, people don't really know what love means. They have some conception, but it doesn't work. Love in this world is so fraught with so many shortcomings, and same ones again. The depth of the love and the limitation of its time. We've all experienced that, disappointments in relationships and you name it, in our lives. So real love is something which evades people in this world because they put their faith in something which is temporary. Love is eternal, but we're putting our faith in a temporary object, or a temporary object meaning an illusory understanding there of a living entity, but we identify the living entity as the material body, which is temporary, or the mind, which is also temporary, you can say, in its particular nature. And we have to, if we really want to experience love, then it has to be unconditional, uninterrupted. So this little book gives us a little clue how to achieve that highest form of love. Removal of ignorance, tasting nectar, and eternity. So, how many of you are chanting Hare Krishna? Hands up. I don't mean right this second, but over, on and off here and there. Most of you are chanting Hare Krishna. So I opened the book initially on text number 7. Right in the beginning, I'll read you a little bit from the preface. It's good to hear something from a pure source. Om Jnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshurmalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Name Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesha Sanyavari Pastachadi Shatani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gauravaita Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga. Okay, this is, sometimes you read a book, we don't read the preface. You say preface or preface? Preface. Some places they say preface, some places say preface. But it means the same thing. And the preface means before the face, I guess. In all spiritual affairs, it doesn't matter what line you're in, one's first duty is to... What's the first duty? Who has read this? Sometimes we don't bother reading it. We go straight into the face and we forget the foundation there. Yes, you're to control. There we go, word for word. Isn't that amazing? He's memorized it, I can see that. The first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his minds and senses, one cannot make... Come on, keep your mouth shut. Control your senses. You don't. Those who know don't speak. Okay, is that right? No, it's not right. Anyway, you know it all. It's spoiling the fun if you just answer all the questions, isn't it? You've already answered it more or less. Maybe you didn't hear it. What did he say? You cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. And some of you have got your little mobile phones open. I can see at the back there, Raghavir is already... He's famous #1 cheater. Everyone, I bet you did that in your exams too, eh? You have mobile, you had it all written on the palm of your hand or something. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the mode of goodness, sattva guna, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami. First we have to come to goodness before we can transcend the material nature. And then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Now here's a very important point. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on, quiet please, depends on, what does it depend on? This is what Prabhupada says. What does it depend on? You could answer it slightly differently, but this is what Prabhupada says. What does he say besides Gaur Chandra? What else? He says the same thing besides Gaur Chandra as well. But somebody else knows? What does it depend upon? Advancement in spiritual life depends upon.
Maharaj, I listened in your class that it depends upon the attitude of the follower.
No, you've read the book also. I'm sure you have. Come on. You know this gentleman here? They're the same team. They're one and the same. That was clever. You passed it over to your better half. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. It's not just the following. It's not just the service. It's an interesting point, isn't it? It's not just what we do, but the attitude in which we do it. What's the definition of pure devotional service? Give us a definition. Another statement of Rupa Goswami, the great devotee who's compiled this book actually. What is that? Well, give one definition. You could give more than one, but give one. In relationship to this particularly. You know it. Come on, you know it very well. I'll let you speak. Is he right? Spot on. You know what that means? Anya vilasita shunyam jnana kama janavitam anukulena krishnana. What does it mean? The definition of pure devotional service, it has to be completely unmixed with any other motive or desire. No desire even for liberation. No desire to go to heaven. No desire to get a nice new house in Wollaston. Nothing. What desire does it have? Does pure devotional service? There must be desire. The living entity cannot live without desire. So what is the desire? He doesn't want yogic mystic powers. He doesn't want liberation. Doesn't want anything of this world, even heaven. What does he want? And what type of devotional service? What type of pure devotional service? Well, it's kind of pure. Describe it according to the verse. Unalloyed, yes. That's another way of saying pure, I suppose. But in terms of the verse, anukulena, which means?
Without any tinge of jnana and karma.
We've already mentioned that. You're going backwards. We caught you. Yes. What does the verse say? What type of devotional service?
Favorable to Krishna.
That which is pleasing to Krishna. It's not about that which pleases me. Most of our service is what pleases me, isn't it? A lot of the time, what I like. They may be the same, they may not. But the deciding factor is what pleases Krishna. Anukulena means that which is pleasing, favorable. That which is pleasing to Krishna's senses. Anukulena, Krishna, Anushilam. We cultivate it. Shila means cultivation. Anu means following in the footsteps, following those who are on that level. So we try to practically apply their instructions. That's following the path of devotional service, devoid of all other motivations except for pleasing Krishna's senses. And we'll read on. So it's the attitude which counts, not the activity. We can be doing the same thing. My attitude may be, I want to be recognized, I want to be praised, I want to do what I want to get a reward, whatever, something. I want to get free from karma, I want to get liberated. I may have many motivations. I may want, some material return. But a pure devotee asks for nothing in return. What does Lord Chaitanya say in the 6 Shastakam prayers? Na danam na janam na sundaram kavitam vachagari shakamai mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhaktir hoitakitvam. I don't want any of these things. I don't want followers. I don't want wealth. I don't want beautiful ladies. I simply want to be able to serve you. He doesn't even ask for liberation. Lifetime after lifetime. Whatever you want. This is the situation of pure devotion. A follower of the Krishna conscious movement should become a perfect Goswami. Did you hear that? A perfect Goswami. You see that Nectar of Instruction starts with this. Now, you may have a different understanding of what a Goswami is. What's a Goswami?
Controls the senses.
Yeah, it literally means that. It doesn't mean, you're a Swami and you have to go away. Sometimes it's like that. Goswami is Swami is always on the go. He's a Swami, a very active Swami is always on the go. That's why they gave me the name Goswami. But that's not the meaning of some designation, is it? It's a state of, you could say, of one's actual consciousness in one sense, at least one's inner behavior. That one is controlling one's senses and mind. Goswami means controller, master of the senses. That doesn't apply just to a certain order of life. It doesn't just apply to men either. It applies to every Vaishnava. Vaishnavi, if you want to put a gender terminology there, but it applies to all Vaishnavas, Goswami. Everyone should control their minds and their senses according to their situation, according to the scriptural injunction. Goswami. There's a Goswami going out the door there. Controlling their mind and senses very expertly there. Well, when you're a child, there's not much, generally speaking, not much visibility of being a Goswami, is there? Very rare. Generally, we're Godas. Most people in the universe are called Godas. What does Godas mean? Servant of the senses. We have to become Goswami. Everyone, he says here, everyone should become a perfect Goswami. What's a perfect Goswami? Control your yawning. No. We can't control it, can we? What's a perfect Goswami? I see many of us are yawning. I think it was that amazing Rath Yatra which we had today in Hagley Park. It just out of this world. Most extraordinary Rath Yatra. So what is a perfect Goswami?
Someone who offers everything to the senses, offers everything to the sense of Krishna.
Ah, that's a very nice, practical definition. Normally, one may say, even a Mayavadi, you may say, oh, he's a perfect Goswami. He's withdrawn his senses from the objects of the senses, living very austere. In fact, they're only living on air. They're really a good Goswami, but not really. That's still selfishly centered, isn't it? The real Goswami who is, as we see, anashrika karma palam karyam karma karotiya, sasanyasi cha yogi cha, na niragnendra chakriyaha. I'm surprised I haven't used that verse in years. I'm surprised it came out. That's in the Bhagavad Gita, 6.1. Huh? What does it mean? Where did that come from? 6.1, what does it mean? Bhagavad Gita, 6.1. I think it's, 6.1. Must be. What does it mean? There's a description there of a pure... Let's get the exact translation. Bring a book. Bhagavad Gita. Go to Bhagavad Gita. Bring the Bhagavad Gita. Come on. Where's our host? Where's the host? Bring a Bhagavad Gita as it is, in English. As it is. Pardon?
Yeah, he's ready.
Can't remember where it is. Let's be patient here. Here they come. Somewhere. Da-da-dum. Secrets are being revealed here. But that looks like it's Hindi. You don't have English one?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We have one English Bhagavad Gita here. Normally we sell them for $10, isn't it? If you give $10 or more, you can have this Bhagavad Gita.
Emphasis on the more.
What to do? I do have one in English if anyone wants one somewhere. Maybe in my bag. There it is. That's another Hindi one. But here's an English one. Here's an English one. There you go. Hardbound English, full Bhagavad Gita as it is. Sanskrit and commentary, everything's there. Anashita karma palam karyam karma karotiya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So he's the real one in the renounced order of life. Now there's two kinds of obligations. Something's come on the screen. Anna Chell, something has given you a message. That's nothing to do with it. Here, you can have it back. I'm very kind and generous. I've returned it. So there's two kinds of duties for dharma. One is the material one, which this refers to at this stage, as one is obligated. We have another obligation, a higher obligation, another svadharma, which is a spiritual duty. Either way, without attachment to the fruits of the work. A devotee, however, seems to sometimes be attached to the fruits. People misunderstand. They cannot see the difference between these two kinds of svadharma. One is material. So we see that many times mundane or impersonal sannyasis, so to speak, they renounce. They don't want anything to do with anything of this world. But we see the Vaishnava sannyasi, yes. Sometimes Prabhupada would say like that, give, give, give. Why? Are they greedy? Do they want the fruits of the work? Why do they want? We may want that people give money. We may want that they come forward. Yes, you should use your car. The best car, Prabhupada said, should be used in devotional service. Why? Why?
Krishna deserves the best.
Everything belongs to Krishna. A devotee sees everything belonging to Krishna. Nobody else sees that. Everyone else thinks this is mine or it's an illusion. Everyone else is seeing it separately from Krishna. So a devotee wants everything to be connected to Krishna. Not to themselves, but to take it and offer it to Krishna. Return Sita to Ram. Everyone else thinks Sita is for my enjoyment. The material body, the material world, the wealth, the knowledge, everything is for me or for us to enjoy. And if we get a little bit of spiritual realization, we realize, or we may realize, this is all an illusion. So we give it up, get rid of it, renounce. But that's not real renunciation. Real renunciation has to be based on sambandha gyan as to who is the proprietor. How can you give up? Now, do you have a car? No. You have a car. What's your car? What type of car you got? Pardon? Nissan? You have a Nissan car. You have a car? What do you have? MG. It's an old British version. They're an old good one. So if you go out in the street right now, you say, I'm going to renounce this Nissan car. I renounce it. What does it mean? Nothing. It's not yours to renounce, is it? Or if you go out and say, I renounce this MG, it means nothing. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult to renounce it, I'm sure, but I don't know. Is it an old one?
No, it's a year old.
Oh, it's a new one. I didn't know they still had them. All right. Good car.
China.
Huh?
Made in China.
Made in China. Wonderful. Okay, but how can you renounce something that doesn't belong to you? It doesn't make any sense, does it? I give up something, it's not yours to... You have to have it in the first place to renounce it. But nothing belongs to us. You can renounce nothing. How can you renounce it? So real renunciation is to recognize who does it belong to and how the proprietor would like it to be used. One thing to say, oh, this belongs to my next door neighbor and we do what we like with it. That's even worse in a sense because you know who the proprietor is and still you misuse it, isn't it? Most people don't have a clue. But if you have that knowledge, the Shastra gives that knowledge, and we don't follow it, that's even worse practically. So a Vaishnava is one who knows Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagaccham jagat. Tena chaktena bunjita magvita kasya svidanam. What do they know? What does a Vaishnava know? This is a very basic verse, isn't it? One of the first premises of Vaishnavism, practically speaking, is found in this verse. This verse is from the Upanishads. It's not from Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, it's from the Upanishads. What does it mean? Ishavasyam idam sarvam. You know that song Jamuna Devi sings, huh? Om Purnamadak Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasyam Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Like that she goes on. What does it mean? Beautiful song when she sings it so nicely. Anyone know what that verse means? More or less, what does it mean then, if you don't know?
Owned and controlled by Krishna.
Yes, everything animate and inanimate that exists, basically, is owned, is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not ours. We also belong to God. Would you like a chair, Hari Kirtan?
No, I'm fine on the floor.
You're fine on the floor, eh? Okay. Yes, one should know that. That's just the first. Not everything. Isn't that wonderful? You know, one time, the Queen of England, no longer alive, 70 years she was the Queen of England. 70. That's quite an innings. That's a pretty far out innings, isn't it? 70 years. I don't know if that's probably a record, I'd imagine, in our modern age. 70 years. She wouldn't let go, of course, but don't blame her in some ways, but what to do. Anyway, she was 70 years officially the Queen of England. And in I think it was 73. That's going back a few years, isn't it? 50 years ago. Her, David Wine, his name was, a good name, David Wine. He came to see Srila Prabhupada at Bhaktivedanta Manor. He happened to be the Queen's sculptor. You know the sculptors? He used to make all the stone things, and he'd also do, models of royalty and things like that. Expert sculptor. The Queen's personal sculptor came to see Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, have you heard of the Bhagavad Gita? He said, yes, he has a copy. He already had a copy, I think Shamsundar had given. And he said, the Queen also has a copy. And he said, when he was talking to the Queen one time he was talking to her about the Bhagavad Gita, he said it would be very nice if everyone could hand over the responsibility to Krishna. Now that may not be a full understanding, but you get the point. That she had some kind of understanding there. That actually Krishna is the ultimate. He's the real man. He's the real deal. She had something. And she had the Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, this verse describes this. That everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. And everything should be used in that understanding, in that way. And we should not take more than our quota. We've been given a quota. What's our quota? You know the word quota? Not used too much, I suppose. What does quota mean?
Ration.
Ration. Okay, that's a practical way of putting it. A ration. It may be used in other directions, but this is probably the best way to use it. We've been given our ration. What is our ration?
The amount we do.
It could be said the amount we do. In terms of, let's say, the... Huh?
The amount
The
we
amount we are due.
The amount we
Amount we are due, okay. Yeah, the amount we are due. And then you could put that in a little bit more passive state, I suppose. You could say, the very nature which we presently have in the material sense of the term. You have a particular nature, a particular body, a particular mind, and it's that which we should understand. That is, whatever the cause, ultimately it's Krishna has given it to us, it's karma, it's desire, everything can be seen there. But ultimately it's the gift of God, and it should be utilized properly. And we should not be envious or try to usurp that which belongs to others. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening in this world today. We should understand that we've got, and the perfection of that is to take that into account and to utilize it properly in the service of the Lord. That's all. There's also a form of renunciation. It's also, you could say, the nature of a Goswami, that he understands his situation, and that's completely for the service of the Lord. This is Ishavasiam society, where everyone in society has this mentality. So there's a united, everything's united, everything's got that same unity. Everything belongs to Krishna. We have our differences, just like our hand has a difference to the foot. The hand is engaged as a hand, the foot is a foot. They don't imitate each other. So not to imitate that of others, but to understand one's position and to act according to the will of God, according to their capacity, etc., etc. It's another topic altogether. We don't go down that channel. But that is the situation in society, which we don't have today. There's so much envy, greed, and usurping others' property, etc. Of course, it's not really ours in the first place. It belongs to Krishna. But nonetheless, we have our quota, and you should accept that, knowing well to whom it belongs. It belongs to Krishna, and he's given it to us to use. And we have the choice what to do with it to some extent. So if we use it in Krishna's service, what is the result? The result is that one becomes free from birth and death. One becomes actually released from the prison house of the material world. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is a title in Goswami. Unless one controls the mind and senses, one cannot become a Goswami. So controlling them means seeing how they're Krishna's property and how they're best used in Krishna's service. It's a higher form of renunciation. We don't deny things of this world, and we don't hanker for enjoying them either. We see them as Krishna's, and we want them to be used for Krishna's pleasure. So if one wants, after becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that's Nectar of Devotion, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, other books, of course. But Upadeshamrita, this little book, constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. Anyone a neophyte? Some of you don't really know what that means. What does a neophyte devotee mean?
One who likes to fight.
Yeah, one who's very near to a fight, a neophyte. And we are. A neophyte is near to a fight. He's always arguing and trying to, establish their own ignorance over others' ignorance. We don't know anyway, but we try to convince others we do. But what is it? Let's be real. What is a neophyte?
Beginner?
A beginner, yeah. One who's still, you could say, still attached to this material world, still has material motivations, still has various kinds of misconceptions and so on. beginner on the path. Doesn't know probably how to properly discriminate and so on. So a neophyte. So for neophyte, this is the first, Prabhupada says here, constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. Simple, isn't it? So let's have a look at those instructions. Generally speaking, when you read a book, you go to the end first, isn't it? Oftentimes. And sometimes devotees do just that. They go to the last verse. Yes. Of the many objects of favoured delight, and of all the lovable damsels of Brajabhumi, Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. And in every respect, her divine Kund, her lake, is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radha Kund is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. So the neophytes go straight there and take one bath, and they think, now I've attained perfection. That's it. Then they go back to their nonsense. A bit more to it than that. We have to start at the beginning, not at the end. So let's go to the beginning. The first verse of Nectar of Instruction. A sober person, that doesn't just mean somebody who's not drunk, or one who's kind of recovered from being drunk the night before. A person who's not intoxicated with material sense gratification, overwhelmed by it all, who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. What a start. The first verse for neophyte devotees. Seems a bit of a deep ender, doesn't it? My God. Qualified to make disciples all over the world. So we're really starting here at a certain point, which is quite something, isn't it? Of course, you could say that's taken further, but the first verse is primarily the principle of controlling one's senses favorably to Krishna. It goes on, the next verse deals with, automatically if one controls one's senses, I think it was Chanaka Pandit said, if you want to conquer the universe, or conquer the world rather, one simply has to conquer one's own senses. One's devotional service is spoiled. And it gives 6 activities which spoil one's devotional service if you are wanting to progress in Krishna consciousness. Who knows what they are? The first one, the first activity which will spoil our devotional service, says right here, eating more gulabs than necessary.
Cake.
Right? Huh?
Cake.
Cake. Oh, sorry. And cake. I missed the line there. Eating more gulabs or cakes than necessary, okay? Whatever necessary means, that's an interpretable term, isn't it? Or collecting more funds than required. And of course, again, we're back to the fact that we don't have anything for ourselves. So you may collect unlimited wealth to offer to Krishna. That's another thing. But not for our own, accumulation or our own sense enjoyment. Over-endeavoring for mundane things that are difficult to obtain. And we're so stubborn, we won't let go. We work and go for it, even though maybe it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But still, we're so stubborn. We won't stop. What's another one? Pardon? Prajalpa. What's prajalpa?
Mundane talks.
Yeah. Talking unnecessarily. Now, there may be a necessary. Don't forget, again, things have to be qualified. You may be a working man or a working woman. You may have to talk about mundane things in the course of your work, isn't it? I mean, maybe in other areas, social affairs and what have you. You may have to talk what seems to be mundane sometimes. You may be related to Krishna, but in one sense it's mundane. But here it says unnecessarily. Give an example.
Talk to your devotee friends about the horse races.
Well, you got me. You pinned me down straight away. You caught me talking Prajalpa straight away. Well, that was sharp. Getting your own back there. Anyway, what can I say? It's too late now. I'll try to rectify my behavior. I talked about things unnecessarily. What would be another? Come on, give another example. That was a pretty below the belt example, I must say.
Sorry.
Give another example, huh? I'm afraid you might say something even worse. Anybody else?
Gossip.
Huh?
Gossips.
Gossip. Gossip about what? Gossip. That's a very all-encompassing term almost in this regards, isn't it? Gossip. What do you ladies? You don't gossip, do you, ladies? I think ladies are not very well known for gossiping, are they? They never gossip. Do they? Oh, she's looking at her watch already. Huh?
No.
No, they don't. Okay, good. Ladies, what do you gossip about?
Other ladies.
So many things, huh? Everything under the sun, practically speaking, isn't it? Chat, 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 chat. Chit, chat. All the time. Grumya Kata, huh? Village talk. Talking about this, talking about that, talking about the latest fashions, talking about many things. Such a waste of time. I mean, if that's your job, you may have to some extent, but not more than required. Just that which is required, not more. That's also our quota. We have this tendency to gossip or criticize, even worse. Criticisms. Just waste time. Trying to impose our mundane knowledge on others and arguing over it, isn't it? You know, the weather. The directions to go. Some historical event. Whatever it is. On and on we go. The world events. Try to analyze the world events. You get into all sorts of things like conspiracy theories and all this stuff. Prajalpa, waste of time. What to do? Everyone's affected by it. Practicing, another one. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them. That means without any real understanding or objective, we don't know why we're following. You just maybe got some other ulterior motive, but you're not following for the right purpose. You're just doing it for show or whatever it may be out of ignorance. Not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting them altogether. Number 5. What's number 5?
Janasang.
What does Janasanga mean? Huh?
With worldly minded people.
Yes, associating with worldly mind. You have to in the course of your work or social areas, but not more than necessary also. Not that we kind of go out of our way to worldly minded persons whose interest is material sense enjoyment. We don't go out of our way, but you have to obviously show some interaction, some respect is there, no doubt. But we don't associate on the material platform. We try to bring it to the spiritual platform. Our preaching, our very purpose is to try to bring ourselves to Krishna consciousness and help others also to come to Krishna consciousness. So obviously you've got to associate with people, but you don't associate on the material level. One associates on the level of trying to bring them to the spiritual platform. And the last one, Lolium. What's Lolium? Lolium is one of the first characteristics for spiritual life, isn't it?
Greedy for mundane things.
Yeah. So there's a Lolium for spiritual life. We should be very eager for that. It could be very eager for also. We should be very eager. Lalasamai or Lolium. Eager. Eager for what? Eager to eat more gulabs. Eager to talk more Prajalpa. Eager to avoid the rules and regulations. Eager to collect more money for myself. What type of eagerness do we want to do? What type of eagerness should a devotee's eagerness be? Pardon? Sadhu Sangha. Instead of Jana Sangha means worldly minded, Sadhu Sangha means spiritually minded. We want that association. That is the secret of how our lives can transform when we get Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoi. What does that mean? A moment, even a moment, we may not hanker for it, but if we're lucky to get a moment's association, what happens with a sadhu? One can attain all perfection. But what is that perfection? That perfection is not material perfection. People go to sadhu, they go to a sadhu, Swamiji, please bless me. What do they want? Huh? A new MG. What else they want? They want to win the horse races. What else they want? Money. A new, well, that's a very tough. Ooh, that's not a very nice one, is it? Or a new husband. A new job, or job. A job, you may not even have one. A baby. What else do they want? New house. Long life. Cure your sickness. Liberation, if huh? Pardon? Pass your exams, yeah. That's a very common one. Many times young men and young ladies say, Maharaj, please pray for me that I pass my exam. I need your blessings. It's understandable, materially speaking, but that's not really what it's for, is it? Not really what it's for. Blessings. Prabhupada was on a train one time in India, and some Indian businessman came in to his compartment. They heard the Swami or Sadhu was there, so they wanted to get the blessings of Sadhu. So the Prabhupada was talking to them, and they said, Swamiji, please give us your blessings. And Prabhupada said, okay, I blessed you. He was sitting in the compartment with two of his sannyas disciples. He said, I bless you to become like them. Oh no, Swamiji, please, no. What kind of blessings do you want? What do we want? Again, it's back to the original point that we're so seeing everything as belonging to ourselves. And how can we change that? By sadhu sangha. And what do the sadhus say we should do? What do they say we should do? What's their recommendation? Pardon? That's a very simple answer, isn't it? Chant Hare Krishna. No matter who you are, no matter what level we're on, chant the holy name of Krishna. Everybody. Everyone chant. Chant. Radha Krishna, bol bol bol, re so bhai. Radha Krishna, bol bol bol, re so bhai. Hey Shikadiya, Sabnadiya, Pirchinichi, Gonitai, Hari bol bol re, Radha Krishna bol re. Something like that. Long time we haven't sung that one. We haven't sung that in years, I think. So we will chant. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? If you're having a little difficulty, I'm fussy with the harmonium. If you're very good at following, he's very good because he's doing it all the time. And it's really difficult to follow. Yeah. It's not indicative of how good you are, it's a question of what you're used to, isn't it? But I don't mind either way. Is everyone from Christchurch? Anyone from Dunedin still here? There are several devotees at the Rath Yatra from Dunedin. Auckland, of course. They've come down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many came down? How many? 7 devotees came down from Auckland for the Rath Yatra today. They heard there was a Rath Yatra and they flew down for the Rath Yatra. Okay, we'll sing an easy one for you all. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Haribo! Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, hey, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, bolo bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Huh? Huh?
This is for the recording, not
Which one? This one? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, you can video Gurudev. Outside?
Shall I open the blinds and windows? The sun has gone down now.
Let's see when we come.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nittai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I think this is the mic. But I don't know if it's working.
Is it yours, right?
No, this is your one.
No, this is yours.
How do you know? No, the one is.
That's yours.
Huh? How do you know?
There are two.
Yeah, but Marad is wearing my one, I think. Is it? How do I know?
That's mine, is it? Okay, put it then.
I think it's yours. But is it working? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Haribol, Haribol.
No, that's the one. That is over there. That's yours.
Hare Hare.
I'll see.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Come here. Hey,
Hare Rama,
have to show the dance.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, no, Krishna Krishna, no, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, no, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, no. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanandi Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Oh, glorious the assembled devotees, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.